Hey, what's going on, everyone? I'm Tyler Boronski. You're watching my YouTube channel where I'm sitting down with recognizable faces in entertainment. Today's guest, he's acted, directed, produced. Ever since he was young, he's always wanted to do it all in the TV and film industry. And just 21 years old, he's kind of done it all. He's starred in a wide range of projects from films such as Joe Bell to TV shows like Play by Play and You on Netflix. It's Reid Miller. Reid, thanks so much for taking the time, man.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
I mean, I was saying you've done it all. You've done the on-camera work. You've done the behind-the-scenes aspect of it. Are you able to watch a TV or film normally without dissecting it from an actor's or director's perspective?
That luxury is gone. I cannot watch literally anything without low-key thinking about the acting and like studying how it's shot and noticing all these little like editing mistakes. I've definitely ever since I became an actor, studying every film I watch, it's kind of like out of my control at this point.
Yeah, you can't enjoy it, man. I know for me personally, I'm in sports TV as in my industry, and I can't watch ESPN normally now because it's kind of the same thing. So I get what you mean, like the things we enjoyed when we were younger. It's kind of, now once you're in it, it's gone.
Yeah, exactly. It's like now we got to be like, well, how can this be better? And how can I make it better?
When did you know you could pursue acting at a professional level?
I started acting at 13, but I knew that I was really able to pursue it and that there was like a potential future there probably when I was 15 or 16. And that was after I booked Play by Play, which was like my first series that I was the lead in. Like I had done other series before, like The Fourth Door that I was a lead in, but Play by Play was that was my show. And so once I did that, I kind of realized, okay, like this is really something that I can do, that is possible. I need to hunker down and just put all of my effort and my time into honing my craft, into moving this forward. Because I was at that moment, I really figured out like, okay, I can do this.
And I mean, you have a little, I guess, acting gene in your family because your mom was a child actor. And I read that, what you were mentioning when you started pursuing acting at 13, she left her job in marketing to help you pursue your goals as an actor. In what ways does she help you with your career now?
Even though she was a child actor, the idea of me being an actor was never planted in my head. It was always something that I wanted to do. Like you said, she left her own job to come out here with me. She's helped me in numerous ways. She's helped me get auditions. I mean, she helped me get the audition for Play by Play. She saw the audition for Joe Bell. She's been on it. When I was younger, she really helped manage like social media, that whole thing. But now that I'm older, I do that on my own. Now she's here for moral support, for making big decisions in terms of my career and just helping me navigate those decisions and to hopefully make the best decisions for me without her overstepping, you know what I mean? Because it's like still my career. So it's her being able to juggle how much input should I give. She's been doing a wonderful job. She always has. So I'm glad she's here with me to help me kind of navigate that.
Let's discuss a couple of projects you've been in. Your most, I would say, major project, at least the latest one, was Joe Bell. That was released in the Toronto International Film Festival. Will premiere in theaters in 2021, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Let's hope for theaters back, please.
Let's go.
But the film stars Mark Wahlberg. He's also a producer in it. And I read during the audition process, you were invited to his house. I mean, that's an A-list star we're talking about, man. That's kind of crazy. So you pull up to Mark Wahlberg's house. Take me through the day from there. What was the rest of the visit like?
I had auditioned a few times and I got an email from my manager and she was like, okay, well, you have a callback for the movie at Mark Wahlberg's house. And I was like, what? Like, am I reading this right? Like, I had never sprinted through my house faster than in that moment, like to my mom, like, did you read what I just read? We got to his house. I walk in and there's a lot of people there for the audition. Not a lot, but like 6 or 7, but they were name people, like people that I'm not gonna name, but you would recognize. And I walked in and I was like, why am I here? Like, I do not fit in with this crowd. A few people went in, they kind of were in and out. And then I went in and I read with him. And I remember it being a very surreal experience. So like being like face to face, like shaking his hand, I was like, hi, like, hi, how are you? Like trying to not like flip. And it was a very emotional experience actually, because it was like, the first time I'd been that close to a role that I knew was like a big deal. I read with him. He walked me out of his house, which he hadn't done with anyone else. And he told me, reading with you was like reading with my son, which was really hard hitting because it was a movie about a father-son relationship. Once I heard that, I was like, okay, maybe this means something. I had a meeting with the director a few days after, like just me and the director at his hotel cafe. And then a few days later, I had another meeting at Mark Wahlberg's house and I read with him once. And then he gave me the job on the spot. That was really crazy. Like that was definitely like, I don't know how any other moment will top that moment for me, but it was a very crazy experience and it was a great experience.
Yeah, and this is just the audition process we're talking.
I know, that was just the audition process.
You talked about this character a little bit. You played Jadin Bell in it, and as you mentioned, a father-son relationship with Mark Wahlberg's character Joe Bell. Jadin Bell, for those that don't know, was a gay teenager who faced relentless bullying in high school, ultimately leading him to committing suicide. This is a true story. So when you do, receive such a tall task like this, and I'm sure you want to get right, how do you prepare to really understand Jadin Bell?
Research, tons of research, and I don't even mean like Google. I mean talking to his mom, talking to his brothers, and I was very, very lucky and blessed that they had given their blessing to the project, because it's a film about their family. So the fact that they had given it their blessing was a big deal. So I was able to talk to them and to communicate with them. I had his iPod with his music that he would listen to. I wore his clothes that he wore. It was really just talking to his family while also finding who he was within myself, which sounds really weird, but I promise in my head that makes more sense. These are just stories from people who weren't him. Yes, it was his mother and it was his brothers, and they should know him better than anyone, but at the end of the day, you still don't really completely know someone. So it was taking those stories as well as who I am and being able to paint a picture there as accurate as I can of who he was. The process of that was really just reading the script like over and over every day. And I can never truly relate to him. I can never truly understand what he went through and what pushed him to the point that he was pushed to. So for me, it was respectfully trying to find a common ground of understanding between myself and him, and to bring honor and respect to his story as best that I could.
You did a great job. For anyone that's seen the movie, it was really well done film for sure. And I mean, for just an acting perspective, I mean, that's the, I guess, level of work you got to put into to really invest in character and just understand from his perspective the best you can. Let's shift gears a little bit. We'll talk about another project you worked on. You actually worked on a personal favorite show of mine, You, on Netflix season 2. That's just a wild show in general. You played Jenna Ortega's best friend in it. What was a set memory you have from filming that show?
I remember I was talking to the main actor, the Penn, and we were sitting outside a set, and me and him were just talking. And it was really funny because I booked Joe Bell and You in the same week.
Oh, wow.
Crazy week.
What a
Crazy.
week, yeah.
So I booked Joe Bell first, and then like 2 or 3 days later, I booked You. I filmed You first before Joe Bell. So it's on set, me and him were talking. He asked me, he's like, what else you got going on? Do you have anything else coming up? I was like, yeah, I literally actually just like booked a movie with Mark Wahlberg. And we had like a 2-hour conversation, like just talking like about acting, about where he came from, about where I came from. And it was just this, like, I don't have a crazy story about like set itself. It was just like a really cool memory of like me and this guy who I barely know, who has worked a ton, who's really famous right now, just like breaking it down and like having this really like intensely personal conversation and like connecting on a weird level. It was really cool. And it was cool because I was pretty terrified to do Joe Bell, because it was like there was a lot of pressure to get it right. And he just gave me the most like heartwarming and comforting sort of talk. And it's like, I'm convinced the only reason I didn't like freak out is because me and him had that conversation. And it was just a really nice thing that he didn't have to do, but he did.
We'll wrap it up here. I read on your IMDb page, you describe yourself as an autodidact person, someone that learns things better on your own, self-taught. So when it comes to the TV and film industry, what's an aspect of it you would say you've primarily taught yourself?
On a more filmmaking angle, I would say like having that sort of director's vision is something I taught myself. Like it's something I've always had. I sort of taught myself how to bring those visions to fruition. And that's not to say that I haven't learned so much just being on set and like meeting people and just watching people work. That's why I haven't gone to film school, because it's like every set I've been on, I've learned so much, and every director, producer has always told me, they're like, you don't need to go to film school. You've worked enough years, you have enough experience, and you just get it, that you don't need to. Just keep doing what you're doing. And so for me, I would say I did teach myself to have that vision, and more importantly, how to execute it, I think, and how to properly communicate what I want. As well as, like writing. I never took any writing classes, but I just learned with each script, and I would just write and get better with each one, and just focusing on telling the stories that I want to tell.
Love it, man. Appreciate it. He's Reid Miller, actor, director, and producer. Reid, thanks so much for taking the time. Much appreciated, bro.
Of course. Thank you.